Hello, hello, hello. Just gonna adjust the camera. Had to adjust the camera for the live stream yesterday for Futures Edge. Now I have to adjust it back. All right. Good morning, Sterling. How is everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Sterling's off today. Well, enjoy your day off. So what else? I know I only tell you guys that in case I get wrapped up with the rest of the week. Maybe we should all take. You know what? Maybe with the government shut down and Sterling might be busy the rest of the week, maybe we should just pause the channel. Maybe we should pause the channel until the government opens back up. What do you think? We don't need to look at the markets. All right. Thank you for being here every day when you can, Sterling. Really appreciated. By the way, Tesla shares slip. It had a aggressive percent beat buy yesterday. Again, there's no major topping pattern yet. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning on Rumble to Patrick and Rusty also. What else do we have? Cautious Feds Daily. Cautious about thinking that all bubbles are financial. No comment. Oh, all bubbles are not oh boy. Get rid of the Fed. Can we get rid of the Fed, please? Please. Please, 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 please. All right. Yes, AI could make the product more productive. I have a question. What if AI gets actually we get good AI because we're not there yet. We get good AI and AI gets so productive you have like mass unemployment, like half the country's unemployed. How do people buy stuff? How does this all work? Because what happens then? I'm just wondering. What do you do? I'm wondering. I mean, a lot of people would say you have basic universal income. Well, and what do you tax the AI companies to do that? Be very interesting. It's actually an interesting thing to think about. Good morning, Martinez. Good morning, OD Green. Major level resistance ES at 6,800 due to call wall. We're trading right. Well, we're trading right there in the futures. So, are we having a Generations Fort Sumter moment? Fort Sumter. Huh. Good morning, Heinrich. The left better hope not, says Sterling. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, John. All right. All right. AI is good sometimes at the moment. It's pretty good at medical stuff, like going over your blood work. Oh, there you got it from Jacob. There you go. All right. What do we have going on today? Government still shut down. What else do we have? We have Bostic Bowman speaking. Consumer inflation expectations. Kashkari speaking. Miran speaking. If I could talk this morning. Did Red Book come out? Did Red Book come out? I didn't see it yet. So that's where we said. I mean, again, with the government shutdown, we have a lot less data. Chips are up. AMD reversed yesterday after testing the key highs and bouncing today. IBM up. Tesla pulling back ahead of its advent. Google and Apple slight pullback. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft up. App. What is apt? Boy, up 3.18. Didn't see any news on that. Groups. Everything except the consumer cyclical is oh, look at this. Everything except consumer cyclical and energy is positive. Again, we're just grinding higher. Fed watch is still cut for October and December. Fear and greed in greed mode. Schiller PE 4023. 4023. A Constellation Brands just afternoon was a beat bouncing up today. I did not look at McCormick before the open. Again, very light week. We got Delta and Pepsi on Thursday. That's about the biggest thing still remaining in the week. Maybe AI can replace the Fed. I don't think it can do worse. Hey, Christoph, how are you? How are you? With the current AI investment commitments, the U.S. will need to add 23 full-size nuclear power plants. And how long does it even get, Sterling, how long does it take to get one even permitted? Planned and permitted. What's the duration due to our insanity, government insanity? What is the duration to get planned and permit? What's the average building time for a nuclear power plant at this point? Our reps and Dems, anything close to coming to an agreement on to stop shutdown? I haven't seen anything, unless somebody else can correct me. I haven't seen any headway made. All right, climbing higher. Sterling already put in the 6,800 wall. We'll see if that holds. Other than that, right now, again, the next, this isn't even again, we got a minor pausing bar there from yesterday because it didn't touch the high from Friday. So that's technically a pausing bar. The little mini doubles off the table with a triple. Next major target for me is 68.21 area. Then we have 68.44. Right now, just paying attention to this 4-hour rotation zone. Now we're getting waning momentum, but 4-hour rotation zone still holding strong. And this little mini support trend line right in line with the 4-hour rotation zone. So that's all I'm keeping an eye on a closing basis. Again, can't get short unless we have massive momentum downside. It'll take some event because we have too many stopping points. Like we have support around 67.75. We have support around 67.63. We have support around 67.54. You see the challenge with that. So unless we start getting massive momentum bars, not much to talk about. Again, just climbing higher. No news is good news for this market. So that's what I'm looking at. I mean, and again, daily rotation zone back at this 67.55, 67.60 area. So on if we do break that 4-hour rotation zone, 67.55, 67.60 is now your 8 EMA first level of major rotation zone support. Again, very overbought. Cycles at the top. Don't know what's gonna stop the market yet. Nasdaq coming up to the next little minor area of 60s 25,277 to 25,293. Minor target, major target 25,390. Still keeping an eye on the rotation zone, not a double top. Again, we have a support level around 25,130 and 25,106. And then we have a little clear path move potentially. But again, same thing. Unless we get momentum bars, not looking for shorts because we got too many stopping points, at least until you get below 25,100. Then we do have a little clear path move with a potential target of about just below 25,000, 24,975 area. But 25,013 is another minor support level. Again, your rotation zone on the daily is just above that, about 25, 20, 25. So if we did get something a little more causing a sell-off, I'd just be watching a prior breakout level and the rising rotation zone on the daily would be my first key level of support. What else? Small modular reactors take 5 years. Again, those are small modular reactors, and that's still even 5 years. What about a full size? Here we go. Total planning to ops, 15 to 20 plus years end to end. All right. So let's even say you did something miraculous in it. 10 years. Well, that puts us at 2035. When's all this AI power demand supposed to be? I mean, it's already kicking in, but you got all these data centers being built. You can build a data center a lot quicker than you can build a reactor. Let's even say you have a 10-year time frame on all these reactors. Where are you getting the power? Where are you getting the power? Unless everybody's supposed to turn off unless residential is supposed to all go dark. So hey, let's have residential all go dark, and then we'll power AI. But nobody will be able to use AI because the only power will go to AI. So nobody will be able to have power besides AI. Interesting. We'll see. Going to be interesting. Dow, still holding the rotation zone, 46,800. We've already tested that key support and bounced off of there. Already above 47,000 as the first level of key resistance. Next key target is about 47,120. 47,120. So, and then back to about 47,170. And then we just have the wick left behind. So Dow's trying to play a little catch up. The Russell into the rotation zone on the 4 hour rotating up. I'm still paying attention. My breakdown area is about 24.89 still. Other than that, target on the Russell is about 25.11 and then 25.18 and then 25.22, at least for a stop raise. VIX, you still have 17 as the key stuff. So if we get sell-offs, I'll be watching 17. Other than that, we're starting to get minor selling of volatility, but a break below 16 could accelerate that. You raise the price of residential until it's unaffordable. Shouldn't we have a tiered thing like where data centers pay more than residential? Current power plants will push power bills through the roof, which again puts more strain in the lower to middle class. And it's all going to get very interesting. Yep, higher prices. Higher prices. We shall see. Is that technically inflationary? Just wondering. DAX 24.4 still key support. We break below that. We have the rising rotation zone, and it's about 24,300. Again, trend still upholding the key support. Let's see if it can take out the highs. If it does, next target 24,956. Next major target. The notes has, again, I don't know if this will have a trigger, but the notes does have the note futures have a potential valid double bottom. I'm paying more attention to note futures than instead of the rates, but let's even see if this works. Does this work on a potential double top? I don't think it does. No, it does not. But if this did break down and watch for return to the lows, I'm still watching for higher yields. We might get a little pullback, but still watching for higher yields in this. Unless this double bottom triggers on the note futures. 30-year, still testing key resistance. If it does get a break above this 4.762 on a closing basis, we can start seeing a run in 30 years. Crude, that's about the only thing that's keeping some inflation in check. Again, back to rotation zone, back to key resistance, rotating back down. I talked about crude more in depth on yesterday's Futures Edge podcast. I'm not going to recap that. But here's something. If we do we're in technical double bottom territory. So if this were to trigger and follow through with a close back above about 61.75. The full trigger requires a close above 62.12. Then I'd watch for a little bounce in here against the rotation zone. And that is an aggressive play. But I need something stronger like that to get bullish on crude. Gold, above 4,000. Just keeps climbing. You had a long topic about gold yesterday on Futures Edge. You can look at that if you haven't already. 4,035 is the next harmonic. 4,035. I mean, we're not even getting decent. Look at this. Look at this. This is starting to get even more parabolic. Oh, boy. Which, silver, still pausing at the recent highs. We talked about silver, copper. You can just review. I'm not going to review everything I said yesterday, but copper finally hitting my next target. 514. We actually had a high of 514.6. I just rounded down from 514.5 to 514. Talked about that one too. Dollar index. Testing key resistance area. Yes, we do still barely have, with the targets, barely have a potential double top. Going to watch to see if it can close above 98.12 or if it's going to stay in consolidation. If we don't address the relative ancient nature of our power production and grid, we will not be competitive in the AI space. Wholesale electricity now costs as much as 267% more in a single month than 5 years ago near significant data center activity areas. Wow. Wow. How's this going to get addressed, everyone? Or are we going to get a collapse in the AI bubble, at least in the short term, and some of these data centers aren't going to get done? That's the other thing. By the way, we haven't covered it recently. Yen closing above key resistance yesterday. Remember, you have new prime minister elected. And now breaking to above the next resistance level today. So we'll have to see where it closes in relation to about this 150.80 area. Would not be surprised to see a minor pullback, but this again we're still in a channeling uptrend on the yen, weaker yen. What else do we have? Let's just look at Bitcoin pausing at the most recent highs. Again, we had Tether going on a printing spree for the last bit. When is Tether going to get an audit, by the way? Huh. No other comment needed there. That's another thing that's going to be interesting. Spiders. Again, filling it to the open price, not to the closed price yesterday. We gap up today. On any rollover, 671.61 is key. On a break above 672. What was the highs from Friday? From 672.68, 675.38 is the next major target. Other than that, the major support now coming back at 667 with the daily rotation zone. Qs, again, gap up today. So a rollover play. First target would be the open on the Q, 608.45. Then we'd have the close at 607.71. Major support coming in right around 602.50. Next key target, 609.85. Then we have 613.70. Oh, we need a new Green Deal. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The near-term problem for AI, as I see it, is the monetizing its benefits has been significant impediment. Businesses must be able to profit from their investments, which we don't see. We don't see a lot of really good monetization yet from AI, but it's not preventing the AI bubble to continue. All right, Tesla, little gap down, slight gap down today after a percent beat and rotation zone beat buy yesterday. So we'll have to see how that reacts with 0-day options on the open. Again, I wonder if this gets to potential double top territory. That's about the only bearish thing. Besides major waning momentum, this is getting harder to push higher at these near all-time highs. What else do we have? Where's AI Gore? Did Gore invent AI too, as well as the internet? SoFi haven't updated the chart in a while on SoFi. Let's just take a look at SoFi. SoFi to retest all-time highs after bounce from 50-day moving average. Let's take a look at that weekly. Return to the weekly rotation zone. No buy on the weekly yet. You had a little mini buy yesterday on the percent B buy. So yeah, if you're playing this, your targets or my targets would be 27.57 to 28.25 area. You actually have a key little resistance shelf here and then another one just above there. So that'd be the key target area because I need to close above 28.25. Other than that, it is a return to the weekly rotation zone. So yes, we could still see some downward pressure for a little while longer, but again, could easily rotate to return to the high area and potentially make a topping, more significant topping pattern. All right. What else? Nvidia, little pullback to the rotation zone after pausing at the next harmonic area. So right now we have another pausing bar. Should Nvidia rotate higher, be paying attention to yesterday's high, even though it's not a percent beat buy, could be a rotation zone buy holding the key support area. Coming back down, holding these prior highs and trying to bounce up. That's where we sit with that. Broadcom's not been again technically not a trigger on the double because there's no green close. It's still a percent B buy, but no green. Broadcom's having troubles because everybody's rushing into AMD. AMD's the new flavor of the day. The new flavor of the day after the strong reversal bar at the highs back from March. Getting a little bounce. Going to see where this secondary reaction bounce takes us. Because again, absolutely insanity. Can we look at Target weekly percent B buy? Target, again, Target did trigger a percent B buy yesterday, or last week, on the close. Where's my, there we go. So, the cycle's moving up. Again, the stop for that is below the low of 86.30, but I mean, Target. I'm liking Target, by the way. Dividend yield of 5%, P to E of 10. Trading in a pretty key support area. So I like this for a nice little potential bounce play, but you got to keep the stop below that recent low. And this could take a while to play out. This one could take a while to play out. Are we liking ITB? I'm not liking it personally yet. And you got the bounce off the 200. You got some plays in here, but again, would I be long term on this bullish yet? No, I'm not. From a fundamental standpoint, from a pure technical standpoint, if you're doing pure technicals, I think there's better stuff to do. I mean, you close above 68.5, so we could easily see another retest of 124 area, as long as it keeps holding the weekly rotation zone. Cycles are now at the bottom, so you could definitely see another push higher. And it did trigger last week was a percent B buy. So a stop would be below the low of last week, 105.40. Let's see if it follows through or not. RDDT. Reddit. I mean, still just not yet to the first target. You got a little mini. Got a little mini double bottom pattern. That would be for a bounce only, potentially for another rollover if it plays, if it triggers. That's about it. That's about the only potential bullish setup. Would need a close above 213.40 on a 4-hour, and that could fill these gaps. But again, I'd still be looking with the declining rotation zone, still be looking for rollover plays with the dirt sheet credit at 174.90 P to E. So yeah, I'm expecting this on any bounce plays. I'd still be looking for rollovers, full target back to a breakaway gap, and the 200. You're welcome, Rick. Christoph considered going long some safety stocks over again. Yeah, you could do that too. You could do that too, Christoph. Do I have a top three stocks that should flourish off the when the market finally sells off? I do not yet, because there's not a lot of cheap out there. Stuff like, stuff once we can get some consumer defensive stocks, I'll have to go through my list and maybe find the top three. But I'm really looking once the market starts, and I don't know when this is going to happen, once we start getting a sell off, I'm looking at the consumer defensive sector because there's still some cheap stuff in consumer defensive. Not defense stocks, consumer defensive sector. All right, market open. So that's where I'd start looking, Christoph. Market open. Again, cautious bullish until we don't hold the 4-hour rotation zone, but then not even significantly bearish yet and less momentum. Other than that, again, very cautious bullish. We've got waning momentum. This move is getting very long in the tooth. Long in the tooth. So I'll be looking for at least a more significant pullback to look for short-term bullish setups. With that, I shall talk to everyone tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye for now.